Hello viewers, Super GT here. Many people tell me that they're not massive fans of ghost racing, but we're going to bring you a couple of races here. So hopefully these two races can prove to you that ghost racing can actually be very good, very rewarding, and actually it's actually really fun to do it, I think. Sometimes in the normal hoppers or the leagues, the simulation league, it can be an absolute nightmare just having to look behind just in case someone will murder me. So doing ghost racing can actually be very refreshing because you don't have to worry about that. It's just a really live hot lapping in a way, although I wouldn't say it's the same as hot lapping. Hot lapping, I mean you have infinite time, really, an infinite amount of laps to try to set your lap, and you can follow other people's world record ghosts and stuff. Whereas in here, in ghost racing, in the leagues, I've got 3 laps here and I have to nail these 3 laps. I don't have all the days in the world to try to set an amazing lap. It's about consistency when it matters, which is right now. So hopefully these 2 races will prove to you that it can be good and can be rewarding, and you can learn a lot from doing them. So the ghost out the front, BST Mono, is actually just, well, he's not going to be in the front anymore because he's just driven straight off the track, which doesn't often help if you want to win a race. That leaves a couple of Lotuses at the front here. This is the Track Toys Hopper. So Lotuses do tend to be very popular in this kind of in this division. They seem to be one of the most well-rounded cars. So a lot of the other track toys like the BSE Mono, K10 Crossbow, they were very good in corners, but they don't always have the best amount of power. This Lotus here, the Exige S, does have a decent amount of power as well as the handling ability. Of course, Lotus design their cars normally around being lightweight, great at handling on tracks. So that is proving to be a point here. So I've gone for my own tune actually. I don't often tune my own cars in this kind of level, around about A class. Normally the cars I've only done are really in the modern GT endurance. You see on the straight here I've definitely gained, so that tells me one thing, that the tunes we're running are distinctly different. I've got better straight line, but these other guys should have better handling or something else. Acceleration or handling, one of the two, or brakes. So they've clearly put their PI somewhere else. So around the corners I kind of just need to hang with them the best I can. And you can see in ghost racing, this is another good thing, that you can kind of see exactly what lines do work. So I mean, going through here, you can go a little bit wide. You can see I take a much better line. You see just immediately that his line was a bad one, mine was a good one. And I think it's just a lot easier to see in this kind of league. You see who's getting on the throttle earlier, you can see who's getting on the throttle later. You see again there, he just went in way too early, and that's going to give him a massive kick of oversteer as he goes over the curb. So that kind of thing there, you can really just distinctly see quite easily the best and the worst lines, which I really think, I must say that when I was learning to get better at this game, just racing against other people's ghosts really does help for some reason, just because you can kind of compare live what you're doing and what's wrong. So coming through here, this is a couple of corners towards the end of the lap. I'm into this fast left-right chicane, just lifting off to make sure I don't get too much oversteer. And I go through there nicely, so he's actually taking that very nicely. And we're going to come up to the main straight. I've gone in very early, so I've gone in for a different line compared to him. Let the car pivot mid-turn, and I think he's got on the throttle a lot earlier. He's definitely got on the throttle earlier there. So he took a decent line. We're about the same through that corner. But now we see on the last lap that I got a better straight line speed. So I'm slowly going to reel him in as we go on to the final lap. So this is going to be very close. I think on lap 2 we're about the same, or if anything I gained a tiny amount, and we're about equal now. So this is where the pressure really begins. It's different because I think the fact that he can just go through me to overtake me, it does add a different dynamic. You really do have to just maximise everything. So sometimes if you're racing with contact, you can just kind of race kind of okay. As long as you place your car in the right place, they can't really get past you. But in this case, there's none of that. I really still need to just absolutely maximise every corner as best I can. Otherwise he will win. So going through here, absolutely abusing that track limit. Actually went in a little bit too early there. It's going to cost me through the second left-hander. Mugello then, really good track to see it back. He's gone a little bit wide there. I've gone actually in a little bit too early. He's taken a better line, so he's back into the lead. So coming through the final half a lap is going to be very close here, I think, into the next chicane. Get on the brakes, and I'm going to go in a lot earlier than he did. I've gone in a little bit deep there actually. So with about a third of a lap to go, we're neck and neck. It's very close, and we have maybe 3-4 corners left. I'd say compared to the last lap, I have gained, so maybe a couple of attempts quicker than this guy. Let's see if that translates into a race win. Going through the final chicane, just really not trying to push too much through there, because you can easily get a bit of oversteer and go in the wrong direction. Into the final corner, you see I'm going in for that trail braking entry, gone in a little bit too early I think though, if anything. And on the exit, he's going to get that better traction once again, and then not quite catch up. You see there, he got so close, really close, and in the end I think that 2-3 tenths advantage per lap just about helped me, and it translated into a race win. So that was a very good race there, and it was very close at the end. You see pretty much within a second of each other at the finish line, and this is going to be just as good, if not better, this race. So off the line we go. So I'm still using the same car, but the car we're going to come up against, you can see it there, it's another Lotus. I think it's the 99 Elise, so a little bit different. So not in exactly the same car this time, but still another Lotus track toy car. Into turn number 3, and then into 4 and 5. So this is the Silverstone shorter layout. And onto the back straight. This is going to be an important moment here. We can compare again once it gets going. You see there that his Lotus has actually got very good straight line speed. So we again just like the Mugello race, we can have a look at that and say I should really be beating him somewhere else in the corners or in the braking zones, or for traction coming out of the corners. So hopefully it should be a balanced race. That's if our cars are balanced against each other. He'd gone a little bit late there on the brakes, and then I'm going to gain that time back. So I just start the race in first, and I'm going to end lap 1 in first. But we still have 5 more laps to go, and it's going to be a very close one, I think, from here to the end. Just maximising that entry, going through turn 1. Got to watch out for that curb, because it can mess you up, can make your right hand wheel jump up if you take it a little bit too much. Into turn 3 again, going into the left hand side to maximise the entry, and then getting close to the apex on 4 over to the left hand side. That gives us a good run through this turn onto the back straight. So just about ahead here by about 100 feet. Let's see if that gap will come down. It should come down slightly. We saw it in the last lap. He's definitely got the straight line speed advantage into this corner, Stowe corner. Brakes a little bit late there, but we're going to hook up with the apex eventually, and then out to the outside on the power, just about at the right moment there. Moving back to the right hand side, just brake at the start of that curve pretty much, and then hit that first apex. You can take a lot of curb for that right hander. In fact, you kind of have to really maximise this final corner. The new reprofiled club corner, compared to how it was on Forza 4 at least. So that's a couple of years ago. Now coming through turn 1, a little bit of a mistake there. That could cost me at the end of the race. Sometimes if you're going to lose a race by a couple of attempts, it can be a mistake just like that one I made there, which can cost you. That cost me a couple of attempts. You see here, Rich 44 is going to retake the lead. And coming through turn 4, going to get back over to the left hand side to give us the best run through the right hander onto the back straight. So he's going to have the advantage here. I've got a slightly better run, but we saw it on lap 1. He's got the straight line speed. He's just going to pull away slightly. So that's worrying, because I really need to keep tabs of him. I don't want to get him too far away. If he gets onto the straight on lap 4 with that kind of gap, it could be all over, but it's not quite going to be all over just yet. He went way too wide into Stowe corner. He's going to come back for a good late apex though, good exit, and retake the lead. But as we come to finalise lap number 3, you see here it's been pretty much neck and neck. So 3 minutes and a half nearly of racing, and we are within a couple of attempts there. That is very close racing. Let's see if that is going to happen for the next half of the race. So half the race is done. Third place is a couple of seconds back, I don't think they're going to feature. It's going to be a two-way battle for the race win here. And this lap around, the pendulum has swung once again in my favour. A bit of a mistake there. A bit of sliding through turn 4. That's going to lose me a couple of attempts maybe. Into the back straight. So he's right on me this time. You see that proximity arrow. His car is slowly going to morph into the bottom of the screen. And there it is. Into Stowe corner. It's getting very close now. Very tense. There's always this weird feeling that when you're right there on top of each other, that the pressure is on. And in fact sometimes I feel more pressure in these races, because when there's contact I feel more, when I'm ahead in a contact race I feel like it's easier to block. Like you can just stay down the racing line, you can block people off. But here there's no chance of that. I just really have to concentrate from here to the end. Crossing the line to start lap 5, pretty much a dead heat as we cross the line there. So it's getting even closer now as we near the end of the race. So 2/3 done, 1/3 remaining. So 2 more laps left to go. He's going to make a bit of a mistake there, but didn't pay for it too much. We've got someone who quit on the left hand side there. It looks like a tornado, mini tornado when someone quits in the middle of the sand. Onto the back straight. It's going to be almost like a broken record here, because I'm saying the same thing. He's going to slowly morph into the bottom of the screen. There he goes. He could go past. And both of us have been driving very consistently. A couple of mistakes each, but that's fairly normal. Go through Stowe corner once again, side by side or within each other, basically, into the last couple of corners. On the brakes pretty much at the same time. I've hit the apex a little bit better, but not really making much difference. And then we're going to come across the line. He's actually going to be a little bit ahead here. So with 1 lap to go, he's just got that initiative. He's just got that gap that he needs. A couple of attempts. I was 3 attempts down on my personal best on that race, on that lap, and that might be the difference. Hopefully it won't be. Coming through turn 2, moving to the left hand side, breaking the start of the curb, going into turn 3. Clip that apex very nicely. Don't get too much oversteer. Just correcting it in time. Coming through turn 4. I'll line astern once again. That's slightly close to the apex. Smash those tyres out of the way. I think that might have affected him more than it did me. I couldn't quite tell who hit that. That's a weird dynamic of this Ghost Racing, because there were tyres in the way there. They slow you down if you hit them, and I'm not sure who hit them. I think it might have been him, as he was slightly ahead. And into Stowe corner, he's made that same mistake. He's gone a little bit wide, and that's going to hand me the initiative with just 2 corners left to go. He's gone in a little bit deep, and coming through the last corner, how's it going to go? I'm just going to really keep my composure here. Go through the final apex, and just about going to come across the line to win there. It was just chopping and changing every lap, but the pendulum just happened to be swung to my side when we crossed the line for the final time. So luckily, just coming away with a race win there. That was a very good race between myself and Rich44 there. The pressure was on because we were so close, and it was a good battle from the start to the end. In fact, both races I think were very good and enjoyable. And if you'd like to see more, then obviously do smash that subscribe button. Even if you enjoyed the video, then please do hit the like button. Thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.